There's been a debate for a while now in the Western world as to whether we've reached peak woke. That means wokeness as a movement has topped out and will eventually start to go away. Some people believe that wokeness has peaked and others believe that it's barely getting started. Piers Morgan seems to be of the former opinion. He tweeted out that wokeness and identity politics is dead. Now, he said this on the back of Trump's election win, but does that really mean that we're going to have no more wokeness in academia, in music, in media? Personally, I would say no. And that's because these spoilt lefty brats are only going to double down on their woke madness now. I'm sure they'll do so as they'll see it as some sophomoric effort at rebellion. However, I think we're missing the key point when we say wokeness is dead, and that's that we overrated wokeness in the first place. It's my view that wokeness has never been that popular with the actual people of the West. It's just been massively overinflated due to its influence in academia and the media, as well as its popularity with the elites. Wokeness caught on so much because it offered an easy way to describe the complexities of life while making them feel morally and intellectually superior to everyone else. It was also popular with the elites because it allowed them to further the aims of globalist liberalism, things such as mass immigration, multiculturalism, and the destruction of Western culture and so on. In essence, it seems that wokeness hasn't been destroyed, but it's just been shown its level. I'd also add to this that wokeness isn't the real enemy here. It's a symptom of the real enemy. What is wokeism after all? Well, you could say it's post-Marxism, it's cultural Marxism, it's post-structuralism, it's post-colonialism all combined. But again, you could argue, well, what are those things rooted in? And you could say, well, Marxism itself, or the Frankfurt School, as some people do. But that just leads to the same question. What's that rooted in? Well, if you chart things back far enough, what you see is that eventually we'll come back to the death of our tradition and the birth of liberalism. The genealogy of wokeness just leads us back to the core assumption of liberalism that we're all, as John Locke said, blank slate human beings. What this implies is, if you work it through down the line, that the only differences between people are skin deep. Henceforth, the differences we find in inequality, quote-unquote, in gender or ethnic groups and class groups and so on, must only be put forth by the social environment and political environment of a given society and civilization. That is the very engine of liberalism which morphed into wokeism down the line. After all, if there aren't innate differences between peoples and genders and so forth, how else do you explain the inequalities in society? That is the fundamental political choice we have in life. There is either natural hierarchy or the blank slate human, where hierarchy is invalid. When we understand this, we see that wokeism is simply a tentacle of liberalism. Sure, you can chop it off, but it'll come back in some other guise, and there are many different tentacles we have to deal with too. That's why, as I've said before on this channel, I don't believe it's about winning elections so much as about changing the whole conversation, the whole culture, the whole zeitgeist. Remember, after Trump's 4 years, what will we have then? The demographics of America are massively changing and fast, and as you bring in more migrants, they tend to vote increasingly left-wing, meaning Trump may be the last quote-unquote right-wing candidate that gets elected. In essence, liberalism has been so successful because it dominated the left and the right side of politics via its control of the institutions. Look at the modern Tory party now. It's essentially just a liberal party. This is why I believe the reawakening of our tradition is so vital. It's bigger than party politics. It's bigger than simple political ideologies, and only that can destroy liberalism. These are just my views. Do let me know what you think down below, and do consider subscribing to the channel.